I haven't been reading a lot recently, and frankly, I'm quite disappointed with myself. I woke up one day and I asked myself, what can I do to make up for this? How can I finally get some reading done? Like, what if I could just force myself to sit down and read for like 24 hours straight? I am extremely tired, constantly facing out, forgetting what I just read, and I'm basically making no progress. I am honestly beginning to doubt if I can get through this. So it is just about 6 o'clock. I don't know if you guys can tell. I've got with me here a couple of energy drinks and a cozy bed. Yeah, so let's get this bed ready. I'm planning on finishing Oathbringer, the third book in the Stormlight Archives series. There's about 500-600 pages remaining. It's like around 1,300 total. It's supposed to be around 450,000 words long, which is approximately as long as the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, so it's kind of insane. I should be able to do that in 24 hours. Alright, so I'm actually reading. This is great. Look at him. Look at his face. Look at that happiness. Those are the eyes of a man who is finally reading. No doubt ready for another 24 hours of constant reading. I mean, it can't be that bad. Alright, so it is almost 1 p.m. I have been reading for, a little over 6 hours. And I have read a little bit more than 200 pages. I mean, it's pretty good. I am satisfied with finally getting some reading done, but you know, I'm not the fastest reader in the world, let's just say it like that, but I feel like I'm going pretty good. I have the momentum with me still. I'm all in. I feel like I could get some sick ass progress. It is definitely a little bit tiring just sitting down reading continuously, but I feel like I'm doing pretty well. I feel like I've got more in the tank. So yeah, let's keep going. Initially, everything was going great. I was excited, glad that I'd forced myself into this challenge and finally make sure that I got some reading done. I was enjoying it and I felt great. But about 8 to 9 hours in, something began changing. When doing a challenge like this, you inevitably start getting a bit tired. And that was especially true considering I started this challenge already late into the day. You can definitely see here I was facing out a few times. Alright, so it is about 4:30 in the morning. I've been reading for the past, 10 hours then? With short breaks for food, because everyone needs food. I'm starting to feel slightly tired, but the energy drinks so far are pulling me through. Honestly, I think it was a bad idea for me to start recording this so late. If I recorded in the morning, I would have generally have been awake for much shorter duration when I finish. Yeah. Okay, I did not realize how tired I sounded in this clip. But to be honest, I still felt like my reading comprehension was just fine. At this point, I was still chunking through the book at a decent speed. And even though I was many hours into mostly continuous reading, I was still able to keep my focus for the most part. And the book kept me even more entertained than I expected it would. But I guess that might be more of a testament to Sanderson's great writing than to any of my ability to concentrate. It is 8:22 a.m. I am getting pretty tired. I've definitely been phasing out quite a bit more. I'm reading a lot slower than I usually do. Often I just catch myself rereading the same stuff over and over, but I'm getting through. I'm still reading with a tasteful pace. So far, 8:22 a.m., it is smooth sailing. I am extremely tired. I just keep reading the same things over and over again. Constantly facing out, forgetting what I just read. I'm basically making no progress. I am honestly beginning to doubt if I can get through this. There's still like 5 hours left and I am constantly about to fall asleep. I had to sit up on this chair to read. I couldn't sit down on my bed because I was like right at the edge of falling asleep every single second. Yeah. I don't know. At some point during the early morning, the exhaustion really started to pack a punch. Where I a few hours earlier felt that I was tired, but entirely capable of reading and understand what I read, I was now completely unable to even read another page. It didn't take more than 5 seconds for me before I forgot what I just read. And what's more, I could barely even keep my eyes open. I was constantly on the edge of falling asleep. I had to sit up, try to read out loud, and move my head and body around just to make sure I didn't accidentally fall asleep and ruin the challenge. Eventually, I just had to move out of the bed and sit in my more straight chair. But it was barely helping. I mean, I couldn't read. I was honestly close to giving up. I thought maybe I should just give it a shot another day where I started earlier. That bed was so goddamn enticing, but I just couldn't. I had already wasted 19 hours on this challenge as it was. I was only 5 hours away. I would just have to power through somehow. Stand and jump whilst reading if that was what it took to keep me awake. Either way, I would just have to read for those 24 hours. There is simply no other option. Alright, I made it through, just about. It is a bit over 6 p.m., so I've been reading for 24 hours straight, what is around half of Oathbringer, and then I got some 30 pages into before they are hanged. 24 hours probably better spent, more evenly distributed with good sleep. I did it, hell yeah. So was this a good idea? I read just over 600 pages and I made a huge amount of progress. And I was glad. I'd had some issues recently with forcing myself to read, so I thought it was good for me to kind of get back into the groove and make sure that I got some reading done and sort of got myself into the reading mindset again. But honestly, maybe reading for 24 hours straight isn't such a good idea. I did make a lot of progress, yes, but I was extremely tired. However you look at it, it was an ineffective 24 hours of reading. Had I split that reading time over, say, 3 days of 8 hours of reading, I would have probably made significantly more progress. And I don't think it should be forgotten that, at the end of the day, reading is about enjoyment, not how much progress you make or how fast you get some reading done. Now, I like to push myself sometimes. I like to sit down and read. I like to have a weird, caffeinated night by myself reading some Stormlight. But for a lot of other people, that could be a terrible experience. Forcing yourself to read shouldn't be the goal. It should be the goal to take in the world that you're reading, to live and enjoy the characters and the world around you. The main focus should always be enjoyment. Now, would I do this again? Yes, I would. But I think that's fun. I'm a bit of a night owl, and honestly, my sleep isn't really good usually, so it doesn't change too much for me. But objectively speaking, is it a good idea? Probably not.